NX CAD software training. Let's say in the today's session, continuous auto dimension will generate automatically whatever the profile you create. For example, if I create a line, the dimensions will keep creating. So if these dimensions is not required for us and we do not want these dimensions to be created like this, and we need to give our own dimension, means that is also can be possible. And we wanted to switch off this auto dimensions, means we can do one thing. We'll do, as of now I will do undo. Okay, right. So to switch off this auto dimension, see, for example, I am creating a rectangle, it is creating auto dimension. So to create a circle, it is creating auto dimension. So these auto dimensions are creating because of to create this sketch to be in the fully constrained manner. You can see here the sketch is fully constrained with 7 auto dimensions. Okay, suppose if we don't use auto dimensions, we have to give our own dimensions. Generally these auto dimensions are not recommended, we have told many times, so that only we have to constrain each and every entity from our end only, or otherwise the design intent may not be as expected what we want. For example, I do not want these two dimensions, I want this line to be collinear to this line to be collinear to this, means if you even try to delete it now also, it won't get deleted. See here, because of once you give the geometrical constraint only, these dimensions can be deleted, otherwise these dimensions cannot be deleted. This is why we are telling that auto dimensions, don't use it. Okay, so before we start our sketch, how can we switch off the auto dimensions? That is what we are going to see now. Now the dimensions got created here, you can see now I'm going to switch off this auto dimensions. So go to this option, continuous auto dimensioning will be there. So the box, you can see one round box is there, one rectangle, one square box is there. So auto dimension got selected now, so that is why we are getting an auto dimension here continuously. Whatever the line or profile or whatever the entities we create, for everything it creates a auto dimension. Now I'm going to switch off it. Just click on this button, it will get switched off. So now you see that rectangle has got vanished actually. So now that means the continuous auto dimension will not occur again. Now I'm going to create one rectangle, and I'm going to create one circle as well as one point. For all these entities, there is no auto dimension is created, since we have switched off this automatic dimensions, that is auto dimensions. Suppose you wanted to turn on, means for some intent, then you can go for it. Okay, you can turn on at any point of time. If you turn on it when you are in the sketch, for the other entities whatever you doesn't have these dimensions also will get generated. That is the concept of auto dimension. So once you decide that the auto dimension should not be used, before you start creating any entities into the sketch itself, you have to turn off it. Okay, so now I do not want, means if you turn off it also, the dimensions won't get vanished, because of these dimensions already generated. The already generated dimensions you can't remove. Only thing is, whatever the upcoming entities you are going to create, only for that it will control. For example, now I will create one more rectangle. Okay, for these things it will not create any auto dimensions. Suppose if you are turning on again one more time, then again it will create. Okay, this is a disadvantage of auto dimension. So once you planned that you should not use, means, so once we started our sketch, we have to first turn off our auto dimension button, so that the auto dimensions won't get generated. Then we can create our own dimensions. Okay, let's see about fillet option. So fillet means it's making a corner blend, that is called fillet. Okay, so fillet is generally it is applied only on the 2D profiles. So edge blend means it is applied on the 3D models. Okay, so in the interview also most of the people will be asked that what is fillet and what is edge blend, the difference between these two also it will be asked as a beginner. Fillet means it's applied only for the 2D curves. Edge blend means it is applied on the 3D models. That is the difference. Okay, let's see. So now I'm going to create a rectangle. So in the rectangle, I'm going to apply a corners to the all the corners. I wanted to apply a fillet. Let's switch off this continuous auto dimensioning. Otherwise, the dimension will keep creating. So now I do not want these dimensions to be created, so that I'm turning off it before I start my any of the sketch entities. Okay, now I switched off it. You can see now the rectangle has got vanished here, so that means the continuous auto dimension got disabled. Okay, now I'm going for rectangle. In the fillet option, you have two methods. One is called trim method, another one is called untrim method. So in the trim method, the corner will get removed, and in the untrim method, the corner also will present, and the fillet also will present. So now we will see the first option, trim. So now the radius it is asking, you can see in the tab window, so you can apply your radius. Now I wanted to apply radius of 5, so I'm giving 5, enter, and then select this line. You can see here also in the bottom Q line, select this line and select the second line, so the radius will get generated automatically. So this is purely a parametric and associative, that's why the dimensions are getting generated here automatically. Okay, right. So you can see here like this. So the corner has got removed and the fillet has got created. So now I will create one more time. I'm going for the same fillet again. Now I wanted to change the radius, means whatever the radius you wanted to give, you can provide. So now I'm giving 10. Select this, create the radius of 10. Okay, now the radius has got created. Suppose already I have created these two radiuses, I wanted to change it, means whether you can change it. Yes, certainly we can change it, because of it is purely parametric sketches. So now I have applied a 5. Instead of 5, I wanted to apply 8, means you can change it into 8 also. Okay, all right. So now, so this is about fillet. In that we have seen trim method. Now we will see the untrim method. The untrim method means nothing. The corner also will be present along with this trim option. So now I will select these two and then I will apply a radius. Suppose you do not know the radius, you want approximately you wanted to keep like this, means you can just place your cursor accordingly and then you can give mouse button 1, so that the corners whatever the radius it came, it will fix it according to that. Okay, suppose you wanted to specify specifically, you can give that. So now I wanted to apply a radius of 10, means you can go for 10. So now I am in the untrim method. Select this, the radius has got selected now. Okay, suppose we have created with the untrim method, can I able to change it into trim method? No, it is not possible. Okay, so it is not possible. We have to, before we get into the fillet option itself, we have to choose that which method we are going on. Okay, let's see about fillet other option. So now I am going for the method selection. In that I have kept it as a fillet, and the third line whether to delete or not, that's what the option is there. So delete third curve, this option we are going to see now. So delete third curve option I am turning on. Now you can see, now I am selecting the first line, I'm selecting the second line. Now the arc has come. Okay, according to this length, the radius has got calculated automatically. Now the preview of this we can select. Suppose I'm selecting this as a third line, means the profile will get created like this. Suppose I wanted in the reverse side, means the arc should be in the reverse side, means you can see the preview also how it will come. You can keep it like this also. So the way what you want, accordingly we can choose it. So now I want in this manner only, so that I am choosing this create alternate fillet option like this. So the end result will be like this, but the third core option whatever I am selecting, that will get deleted. Okay, right. So now I'm going to select the third line. So this line you just select it, that will get removed. Okay, the same option I will repeat one more time. Fillet option I'm going for the untrim option now. Okay, now I'm using the delete third curve option only. I'm selecting the first line, I'm selecting the second line. Now I'm going for the third one. So before you apply, selecting the third line, you have to see the preview what you want. So whether either you want like this or else you want in the opposite side like this. So I want in this manner, means what you can do, you can keep like this. Now you select the third curve. Just select this curve, this will get created like this. So the extra lines whatever it is coming in the horizontal manner, that won't get removed. That if you do not want, we can remove it. Okay, this is how this fillet option will work. About chamfer. So the chamfer option lets you to create the corners at the ends of the profile. Okay, for example, so here you can see the we are into the chamfer option. Here also, like similar to other dialog box, we have this chamfer more option and less option is there, so you have to prefer always more option. Suppose you are in the less option, the buttons may not be, some of the buttons may not be visible, so always keep this as a chamfer more option. Okay, now I am turning on this trim input curves button, and then I am selecting here. Suppose here there are three options are there. One is symmetric, axis symmetric, offset and angle. Three options are there. So the first one what I am going to use is, I prefer to use offset and angle option. The offset distances I have given as 10, and offset angle let it be as 45 degree only. Now I'm selecting these two lines. Okay, so now the distance is keep changing because of the distance we didn't lock after entering it. That's why it is keep changing it. So always make sure that you are locking this button before you select these two lines. Otherwise, such a scenario will happen. Okay, don't do such a mistakes. So what you need to do is, you have to go to chamfer option. First lock these two buttons, then you enter the value. Suppose I want the chamfer distance to be 10, and the angle what we want is 45 degree, means enter these two values. Okay, so the first step is lock these two buttons. Okay, tick it on these two buttons, give the distances, then you select the lines. Okay, similarly you can create it. Let's see about the other chamfer options. Symmetric means whatever the distance we provide, that will be taken to the both the sides. So as usual, I am locking this button, the distance button. I am giving the distance. Now it is 10. I am giving it as 15 mm. Okay. Now I am selecting the first line and second line. So for the 15 mm, the chamfer got created now. So these dimensions are parametric dimensions. This is not an auto dimension. Please remember that whatever the chamfer we create, accordingly in a parametric manner, these dimensions are got created. Now I am giving it as 10 mm. So in the opposite corner I am giving it. So this is how it will get created. Okay, all right. Now suppose if I want to apply the chamfer with the untrim option, means you can remove this button, then with the same size I wanted to apply 10 mm. So now I have switched off this checkbox of trim input curve, so that the corner also will present and the chamfer also will present. Okay, so this is the chamfer with in axis symmetric. We can give a two different distances. So the distance one, whatever the line you select, that is called a distance one. The line which you select second, that is called a distance two. Now I am locking the check boxes. Okay, now the first distance I am giving it as 10. The second distance what I am giving is 5. So now I am selecting this line. This is considered as a 10 mm line, so chamfer, and this is considered as a 5 mm. So this distance is 5. So this distance is 10. You can see here. Similarly, now we have kept this option on the untrim option. That's why these sharp edges are present. Now I am going to the second one. I will go for trim option now. I will apply the same option again one more time. So the first distance what I am giving is 15 mm. The second distance is, let it be 5 mm only. Axis symmetric we are going. So this is the first line I am selecting. So this is the second line I'm selecting. So here you can see the first line taken 15, the second line taken as 5. So this is how the chamfers are applied. So we have seen the three options. One is offset and angle, another one is symmetric, the third one is axis symmetric. Okay, so this completes our chamfer tutorial. So now we are going to see about make corner. Make corner means suppose I have a line like this. Okay, in the profile of a line I have created this line, Now I wanted to trim this extra portion whatever it is there. I want only the triangular shape, the extra portion whatever it is there, I wanted to get rid of it. So to do that, we no need to trim individually. What we can do, we can go for make corner option. Go for make corner option, keep the cursor over here, it will give you a query selection. So here you can select this line and then give OK, and this line you can give OK. That's it. So you can cut this profile. Now I will do one more time. Make corner, you can go. Keep your cursor at that location within the ball radius. Within the cursor ball radius, you just keep this cursor inside. Now you select only this line. Give OK. Then you keep the cursor here so that this line will be present. So the extra lines will get rid of. So now I will do one more time. Make corner. Just keep the cursor inside and select the lines. Select these lines. That's it. So this is how this make corner option will work. Generally this option will use very rarely because we will not go for exact precisely, we need to select it. It is sometimes it will little bit difficult to select the appropriate selection. So instead of that, we will use always quick trim option. So let's move on to the quick trim option. So the quick trim option means here you can see I will create two lines, similar lines, profile of a line I have created it. I am going for quick trim option. So here there are two options are there. One is boundary curve and the curve to trim. Two options are there. First we will see what these two. Boundary curve. Boundary curve means with reference to this line I am going to trim this line. So this is my boundary. So the line whatever it is comes here, I wanted to trim this extra portion means this is the boundary with reference to this I wanted to cut this. So the boundary is selected. Now curve to trim I am selecting it. That's it. Okay, similarly suppose I am going back again, I wanted to trim this extra portion of curve with reference to this boundary means select the boundary curve at first, then you select the curve to trim. Select this. So this will get rid of. Okay. For example, now I have a few more lines I will create it. I will create like this. Now I wanted to trim this extra portion means instead of going for this make corner, this is the quickest way. So now I am not going to select any boundary. There is an alternate option method also there to trim any curves. Now I am not at all going to select any boundary curve. I am just going to trim what I want. Whichever the lines I do not want, I am going to trim it. You just see now. I am not selecting any boundary curve here. I am just selecting this line. It will get rid of. I am selecting this line. This will get rid of. Similarly, whichever the lines I do not want, I can trim it without having any boundary curves like this. Okay, even a single line without having any intersection also we can able to trim it. That is how this quick trim option is helpful. Okay, sometimes the curve on the lines whatever you create, it may create some points also. Okay, these points are created based on the point option. For example, here I have created a line, here I have created a line. Now two lines are there. I wanted to trim it. I am going for quick trim option. I am removing these lines. Okay. Very rarely such a scenarios will happen. In such occasions, we may need to delete those points manually from our end. Let's say about quick extend option. So the quick extend option lets you to extend the line to a certain length. That means suppose I have a line like this. Okay, I have few more lines over here also. Think of like this. So now I wanted to extend this particular line until this line with the same angle. In that case, go for quick extend option. Select the boundary curve at first. This line to be touched to this line. Okay, so that this is my boundary curve. Now I am selecting which curve to extend. I am going to extend this curve, so that I am selecting this curve. Suppose I wanted to extend this curve means I can select this one. Now I wanted to extend this curve, so that I am extending to this. So it will be a single piece of line. It won't be a multiple segments. It's a single piece of line. The same line got extended until this much. Okay. Let's see in the other way. Now I am going for the quick extend option. I'm going for the boundary curve. So here I have one boundary. one more boundary also I have. So I am selecting the second boundary now. Now I wanted to extend this particular line until this much, so that I am going to select this curve. It won't come until this much, it will come beyond this line, because this is my boundary. I have selected it so that it will reach until that much. Okay, here also you can see it's a single line, single piece of line. So the same line got extended until this much with the same angle. So this is how this extend option will work. Now I will turn off this continuous auto dimension. It makes some confusion. So now we will see in another way also. Now I have a line like this. Okay, right. I have one more line also here. You just think of like this. Okay, right. Now I'm going for quick extend option. Now I'm not going to select any boundary curve. I'm going to just use this curve to extend. The curve, which one I wanted to extend, I can select it directly without having any boundary curve selection. So I wanted to extend this line until this much, means I can select this. Suppose I wanted to extend until this much, means you can select one more time. So even though if I select multiple times also, this will be a single line only, single piece of line only it will be. It won't be a multiple segments. I will do one more time. Go for quick extend. So now I am going for selecting this line. So this is enough, means I can stop there. Suppose I wanted to extend this line until this much, means I can extend it like this, like this, like this. So no need to select any boundaries for this. So just like that, you can directly go to curve extend and you can select it. This is how the curve extend will work. Okay, right. Let's see about the quick extend, one more option. In the quick extend, there is an option extend to extension. Extend to extension. This button is turned on now. Okay, whenever this checkbox is on, what it will do is, by imaginary line extension also we can able to extend the line. For example, suppose this line about to touch this line, okay, so that we can able to extend it. This line will touch like this, so that we can able to extend it. But this line is shorter length when compared to this line, because of this line's extension will come and end over here. To this, nearer to this place, it will end here. So it's an imaginary extension it have to do. So in that case, whether we can, how we can use this option. So imaginarily the line, this line have to be extended until this much, means this option we can go for it. Okay, for example, now I am going for boundary curve. This is the boundary curve I have selected. So which curve you wanted to extend it? This is the curve you wanted to extend it. So this time you must select the boundary curve, otherwise this option will not work. Okay, so the boundary option you have to select it. This is the boundary curve which I selected now. So this is the line which I wanted to extend it until this imaginary extension. Okay, so if you select it now, imaginarily this line will extend until to the same collinearity. Okay, so now if you see here, this line also cannot be extended now without having this option on. So since this button is on, so imaginarily this line can be extended until this extension where the both the lines are intersects. Until that much this line can be extended. Similarly this line also. Okay, so wherever there is a imaginary line extension is also there, you wanted to extend it, means this particular extension to extend to extension button must be in the on condition. Now suppose now I am turning off this button, you just see now I have turned off this button. Even if you select also, it will not extend. That is the option, that is the way it is configured now. See here we have an extension so that this line can able to touch this, so that this can be extended, this can be extended, this can be extended. But imaginarily when this line extended, this will come and touch over here in the air, in the over here only it will touch, so that this line have to be extended here. So since the line is shorter, it cannot be extended like that. Suppose you wanted to extend this line in an imaginary manner, you must keep this button in the on condition. That extend to extension button must be in the on condition. So you just select this so that it will get connected like this. Okay, this is about quick extend option. Let's see in the next class tomorrow. Okay, bye, take care. Hope you understand today's session. If you are not subscribed till now, please subscribe to the channel and keep following me. So let's see in the next class. Thank you.